Assalamualaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're now with me, Yusuf Shukri, for TVS Nightline, and these are the headlines for tonight. Violence erupts at local branch of MART after it was attacked by a firebomb. Members of the public are urged to file an immediate report if raw chicken are sold expensively. And our top story, Israel kills 7 individuals who were unloading food to feed refugees in Palestine. A US-based charity group on Tuesday blamed Israel for a strike that killed 7 of its staff unloading food brought by sea to the war-torn Gaza Strip to help alleviate looming famine. The group World Central Kitchen said it was pausing operations after the targeted Israeli strike on Monday killed Australian, British, Palestinian, Polish and US-Canadian staff.
WCK said in a statement that the workers, who also included Palestinians and a dual citizen of the United States and Canada, were traveling in 2 armored cars emblazoned with the WCK logo and another vehicle. Despite coordinating movements with the Israeli Defense Force, the convoy was hit as it was leaving its Deir al-Balah warehouse after unloading more than 100 tons of humanitarian food brought to Gaza by sea. Video footage showed the impact hole of a strike in the roof of one charred vehicle, perforating the group's logo. The bodies of the 8 workers killed were taken to a hospital mortuary in the central town of Deir al-Balah. Celebrity chef Jose Andres, who started WCK in 2010 by sending cooks and foods to Haiti after an earthquake, said he was heartbroken and grieving for the families and friends of those who died in the attack. On social media, he blamed the Israeli government for the indiscriminate killing and called for it to stop restricting humanitarian aid and to stop killing civilians and aid workers. In a statement, Hamas said the attack was aimed at terrorizing workers of international humanitarian agencies and deter them from pursuing their missions. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said it was conducting a thorough review at the highest levels to understand the circumstances of what it called a tragic incident.
We have been reviewing the incident in the highest levels to understand the circumstances of what happened and how it happened. We will be opening a probe to examine this serious incident further. This will help us reduce the risk of such an event from occurring again.
Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu said the strike was not supposed to hit innocent civilians in the Gaza Strip and promised such incidents will not happen again.
לצערנו ביממה האחרונה היה מקרה טרגי של פגיעה לא מכוונת של כוחותינו באנשים חפים מפשע ברצועת עזה. זה קורה במלחמה, אנחנו בודקים את זה עד תום, עומדים בקשר עם הממשלות ונעשה הכל כדי שהדבר הזה לא יישנה שוב.
WCK was involved in the distribution of some 200 tons of food aid that was brought to Gaza via a sea corridor from Cyprus in March. A second maritime aid shipment involving 3 ships carrying some 400 tons of food is expected to arrive imminently. WCK said it was pausing its operations in the region immediately and would make decisions soon about the future of its work.
Meanwhile, in Malaysia, the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living urged the public to lodge a report immediately if any sellers were found selling chicken at high prices as the Aidilfitri celebration draws near. The complaint, according to Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali, will enable immediate intervention measures as raw chicken was not included in the list of controlled goods declared during festive season or SHMMP for Hari Raya Aidilfitri. And based on prior inspections, Armizan said the price of chicken is currently stable owing to a stable supply.
Hasil daripada pemantauan kita, harga ayam di pasaran dan begitu juga assurance yang kita terima daripada Kementerian Pertanian dari segi supply itu juga mencukupi. Jadi kita melihat bahawa harga ayam di pasaran itu adalah stabil dan kita tidak masukkan dalam senarai ini. Lebih rendah berbanding dengan harga masa kita melaksanakan harga maksimum untuk ayam dulu dalam tempoh lebih kurang 20 bulan dulu. Jadi kita melihat insya-Allah harga ayam di pasaran adalah stabil.
Armizan spoke in a press conference after announcing the SHMMP Hari Raya Aidilfitri 2024, which will be effective for 15 days, starting April 5th. Under the SHMMP, a total of 22 items are listed, including but not limited to locally produced beef, tomatoes, red chilies, and imported round cabbage. Meanwhile, he said that a total of 201 complaints were recorded by the ministry for the past 6 Aidilfitri. 165 cases involved sellers failing to put up pink price tags for price listed under the scheme, and another 2 failed to adhere to the maximum price that has been set.
And back in Sarawak, immediate action is needed to ensure public safety and well-being. Commenting on the recent Molotov cocktail attack on a KK MART outlet in Kuching, Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah, affirmed that such incidents would only have negative ramifications for Kuching and Sarawak as a whole. These events can cause distress among city residents, especially women, children and the elderly who frequent public places.
Yeah, I do not know the detail actually of this, but in general, especially for our ministry, we are championing unity, perpaduan, inclusivity, social well-being, so and then no violence. We always say no violence to our children, to our women, to the senior citizen. So anything that actually that occurs that shows all these features that we said we do not want to see. Of course, that is, I think it should be nipped in the bud.
The Molotov cocktail attack at the KK MART branch in Kuching, Sarawak marked the 3rd incident involving the convenience store chain. Kuching District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner of Police Ashmon Baja said the incident took place on Sunday and the police received a report from the store staff. The incident in Sarawak is the 3rd involving KK MART after controversy erupted over the sale of stockings bearing the word Allah. On March 26, a branch of the retail store in Bidor, Perak was targeted with a petrol bomb at around 5 a.m. The second incident occurred on March 30th at KK Supermart Sungai Isap, Kuantan Pahang at 5:40 a.m.
The youth wing of the Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu (PBB) strongly condemns the recent Molotov cocktail attack that took place at Jalan SATOK branch of KK MART. Vice Youth Chief Dato' Lukarisman Awang Sauni said the incident is truly shocking and such incidents had never happened in Sarawak. He urged the perpetrator to be brought to justice immediately. Though the situation is alarming, the public is urged to react maturely and remain calm as the situation is closely related to the recent Allah socks issue that was sold in another branch of KK MART. Lukarisman told Sarawakians that such action will not be taken lightly and it must be addressed collectively as a community to ensure that such extreme behavior does not evolve into a culture of rebellion. This is because Sarawak is a state that thrives in harmony and peace while celebrating the differences in culture and religion. He hoped that such crimes will not reoccur either in Sarawak or in Malaysia. In the event that it does, he hopes everyone will unite to resolve the situation together while prioritizing unity as the bigger cause.
On to more state news. The National Energy Policy DTN 2022 to 2024 has outlined several key strategic measures aimed at transitioning Malaysia into a low-carbon emission nation within the next 20 years. The matter was discussed in the first DTN meeting in Putrajaya, chaired by the Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Sarawak Premier Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng also attended the meeting.
Through a statement via Sarawak's Facebook page, DTN will position the energy sector as the main catalyst for the development of socio-economic banking as the world transitions towards zero carbon emission by 2050. The 2.5-hour meeting was also attended by Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Energy Transition and Water Transformation, Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof, Sarawak State Secretary, Datuk Amar Muhammad Abu Bakar Marzuki, and Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Energy and Environmental Sustainability, Abang Ahmad Abang Morni.
Now, the state government is integrating a digital literacy program into SATOK's main curriculum to address the issue of digital literacy among preschool and kindergarten students in alignment with the Sarawak government's Digital Economy 2030 initiative. Sarawak Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah, highlights the importance of instilling digital literacy from a young age, focusing on teaching internet safety and encouraging productive digital device usage among preschoolers.
117 certificate teachers with essential digital literacy skills in February and March 2024, ensuring they can effectively guide and inspire our future generations. It always starts with the teachers. So this initiative is a testament to the forward-thinking vision of certificates management and dedication of its teachers. This year, a total of 61, so there will be an increase in the number of centres which will implement this program as part of the main curriculum for 2024. So it's not something that is added on, but it is a part and parcel of our curriculum.
Fatima said this in her speech when handing over a total of 488 kids' bits and bytes tablets to SATOK Sarawak in Kuching earlier today. The event witnessed a partnership between the Welfare Association, Rolf Schneider, Sarawak campus of Swinburne University of Technology, and the Ministry. Previously, the Kids Bits and Bytes program was launched in 6 pilot schools in the state thanks to the contribution of the Rolf Schneider Welfare Association as part of the Digital Literacy Initiative last year.
Now, the Sarawak government is committed to helping women, especially new mothers, adapt and reduce symptoms of postpartum depression. Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah highlights initiatives such as the Maternity Aid or BIB, aimed at assisting these individuals financially and alleviating stress related to their baby's needs.
So that is the support system that we have. And at the same time, at the moment, we know that the numbers of centres that caters for maternity moms that are on maternity leave. Yeah? So we are also supporting that. We see now an increasing number of centres that provide the professional support system. Yeah, there is especially after delivery.
She noted that postpartum depression is being addressed on a larger scale than before.
We know that people are more aware about this postpartum depression, unlike before, where it was just brushed aside and say, oh, she will be now she will overcome it. Give her time. But now I think more people know that it has to be addressed accordingly. The hormone imbalance, for instance, from that medical point of view, from the also addressing the mental as well as the emotional part of it.
Previously, the Federal Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development planned to launch a campaign to raise awareness about the dangers of postpartum depression among new mothers. Its minister, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri, said the campaign would target family members, especially husbands, to make them more aware of changes in their wives' attitudes during the postnatal period. She emphasized the need for awareness due to many cases of postpartum depression leading to infant deaths.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim says no Hari Raya open house plan, and Iran vows revenge following an Israeli airstrike on its consulate. Those are the headlines coming up right after the break. Stick around. Welcome back. There will be no open house for Aidilfitri at the official residence of the Prime Minister at Sri Perdana Complex, Putrajaya this year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim announced that instead he will be attending and participating in open house events in various states organised by several ministries.
Sebab itu saya dah putus untuk sambutan Aidilfitri saya tidak buat majlis besaran di Sri Perdana. Ya, saya akan ikut beberapa sambutan yang dibuat di negeri oleh kementerian-kementerian seperti mana Ramadan, ya, sambutan Ramadan ada kementerian menerajui program dan saya hadir, jadi tidak menokok belanja kalau dibuat besar-besaran sangat di Sri Perdana.
The Prime Minister reminded all government agencies to be more prudent and moderate in organising Aidilfitri celebration events. Meanwhile, Anwar criticised the actions of some members of parliament who claim to be part of the B40 group and questioned the government's efforts in implementing changes, including subsidy targeting and pension schemes.
Ada ahli parlimen kata, apa nak perubahan? Bila penyasaran subsidi dan juga perubahan sistem pension kita tahu, tapi tak boleh kerana ahli parlimen ada yang B40. Itu cakap apa itu? Gaji puluh ribu dengan allowance masih B40. Dia ni cakap dari benua mana?
The government is in the midst of developing a special scale that will allow them to measure the rate of food security in the country. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said the indicator system will be refined by the Food Security Executive Committee to outline the first national food security policy.
This initiative, Fadilah said, will involve all ministries, departments and relevant agencies to collaborate by offering undeveloped land to cultivate onion. He, who is also Minister of Energy Transition and Water Transformation, said the committee will also draft a policy that will prohibit the consumption of cell-based food in Malaysia, including the selling of cultured meat and products derived from it until an international standard is set. Moreover, a proposal to restructure the national rice and paddy industry was submitted to establish a better system for centralized fertilizers distribution, the replacement of input and output subsidies, as well as big data collection and digital technology application. Fadilah said all the proposals will be deliberated by taking into account feedback from stakeholders before it is implemented. Additionally, a guideline for plant factories will also be developed as an instrument that will simplify and support the agriculture-based food industry through the plant factory method.
Now, Southeast Asia remains the top destination for illegal waste dumping. Europe, North America and Asia were identified as the main senders of the waste. In a statement by the United Nations, the types of garbage being smuggled include plastic, e-waste, metal and paper, along with textiles, motor parts, as well as medical and industry waste. And in a report titled Turning the Tide, a look into the European Union to Southeast Asia waste trafficking wave, it was found that Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand and Vietnam were the main destinations for this waste. And according to the report, Malaysia is the fourth highest importer of plastic waste globally, with 2.6 million tons exported between 2018 and 2022. The United States, Japan and Australia were the primary exporters of waste to Malaysia between 2017 and 2021. European Union member states also collectively exported 1.8 million metric tons of waste to Malaysia, making it the third largest exporter of waste to the country. Iran has vowed revenge after Israeli warplanes destroyed the Iranian consulate in Damascus, killing at least 13 people, including a senior commander in the Al-Quds Force of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps, or IRGC. And following that, Iran's leaders in Tehran described the targeting of a diplomatic mission as unprecedented and promised a harsh response.
It was reported that several long-serving diplomats were killed in the airstrike. According to local reports, Israeli F-35 fighter jets fired 6 missiles that leveled the 5-story consular building adjacent to the embassy. The building was then reduced to a mountain of rubble by the blast, which blew up windows in the nearby buildings and incinerated cars parked on the roadside. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi expressed strong condemnation towards the attack, emphasizing it as a clear violation of international law that demands a response. In a statement published on his office website, Raisi remarked, "In the face of repeated setbacks and failures against the unwavering determination of the resistance front fighters, the Zionist regime has resorted to cowardly assassinations in a desperate bid to salvage itself." Meanwhile, the UN Security Council was scheduled to address the strike later today, following a request from Syria's ally, Russia. Iran's mission to the United Nations cautioned that the strike has the potential to escalate further conflicts involving other nations and urged the Security Council to denounce this unjustifiable criminal act in the interest of peace and stability.
Now, 25 people perished while 15 others were wounded when a fire broke out at a residential building in Istanbul. According to local authorities, out of the 15 injured, at least 7 are critically wounded. The blaze had broken out during construction work in the basement of a 16-story building in ERUPT, part of central Istanbul district Besiktas. The newly re-elected Istanbul mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, who rushed to the scene, said that the basement had housed a nightclub. Meanwhile, a statement by the local authorities said those wounded had been transferred to hospitals in the region and an investigation is now underway. Meanwhile, in Finland, an open shooting erupted at the Virtola Primary School, resulting in the death of 1 student and 2 others severely wounded. An hour after the shooting occurred at 9 a.m. local time, what came as a shock to many was when a 12-year-old student from the same school was apprehended by the police as the suspect.
Anxious parents rushed to collect their children under the watchful eye of a heavy police presence.
I started receiving news about 9:30 that there has been a shooting at the school. She's been able to send me some WhatsApp messages during the morning hours, and she just texted me that they are sitting on the floor and waiting for instructions from teacher. And it's a huge surprise that something like this happens, and we're talking about an elementary school, so they are small children.
A student also recalled his traumatic experience when the shooting erupted. Ayan Hanif said the shooter is known in the school's community to be a problematic student.
I was sometimes not his friend, but we were not that good to each other. He was kind of problematic, but I don't know if it's traumatizing, but it's a little traumatizing. But I didn't see the situation 100%.
Moreover, authorities probing the case said the weapon that the suspect used belonged to a relative and that there were no other suspects. Meanwhile, the other 2 victims are currently under life-threatening conditions.
Police immediately entered into the school area and started to look for the suspect and started as well the first aid in this location. And found out that there was at least 3 people injured. The condition of those 2 victims is also serious.
Finland witnessed 2 gruesome school shootings in the early 2000s. In November 2007, an 18-year-old man opened fire at a secondary school in Jokela, around 50 kilometers north of Helsinki, killing the headmaster and a nurse along with 6 students before turning the gun on himself. And a year later, in September 2008, 22-year-old Mati Juhaini Saari killed 11 people at a vocational school in the western town of Kauhajoki. Since then, hundreds of schools have reached shooting threats, according to an article published in the Journal of Scandinavian Studies in Criminology and Crime Prevention.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally, just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvsarawak.my and also all of our social media platforms. That's alias TV Sarawak. That's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, my name is Yusuf Shukri. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum and good night.